Cinema is the ultimate pervert art. It doesn't give you what you desire. It tells you how to desire.
Sorry if my intervention will work as a kind of a destructive, brutal spoiling of the illusions, and I do it on purpose as a leftist, as a communist. First, let me say, it's a complex thought, I cannot develop it fully now, that I don't believe in this ultimate unity of collective love, collective of solidarity, and so on, and personal love. I think agape and eros, and Terry Eagleton nicely translated agape as political, collective love, and eros, individual love, passion, are to be disconnected. There is a gap between the two. I will now repeat my old thesis. I think that love, and I'm talking now about erotic love, is a catastrophe, literally.
She wore blue velvet, bluer than velvet was the night, softer than satin was the light from the stars. She wore blue velvet, bluer than velvet were her eyes, warmer than May her tender sighs. Love was ours, love I held tightly, feeling the rapture grow, like the flame burning brightly. But when she left, gone was the glow of blue velvet. But in my heart still always be precious and warm love.
Our next movie is named Blue Velvet, and already this movie has caused a firestorm around the country, with some advanced reviews calling it a masterpiece and others calling it sick and depraved, and still others calling it a sick, depraved masterpiece. The movie takes place in a small town where a young couple stumbles over a mystery that begins with the discovery of a severed human ear and leads them to suspect that the ear might belong to the missing husband of a local nightclub singer. Here's the scene where the young couple, Kyle MacLachlan and Laura Dern, make a plan to spy on the older woman.
There are opportunities in life for gaining knowledge and experience. Sometimes it's necessary to take a risk. I got to thinking, I'll bet someone could learn a lot by getting into that woman's apartment. You know, sneak in, hide, and observe.
Sneak into her apartment?
Yeah.
Are you crazy? Jeffrey, she's possibly involved in murder.
In the movie's most shocking scene, the nightclub singer, played by Isabella Rossellini, discovers MacLachlan hiding in her apartment.
Who sent you here?
Nobody.
I've seen you before.
I sprayed your apartment. I took your key. I didn't mean to do anything except see you.
What did you see tonight? Tell me.
I saw you come in. I saw you talk on the phone.
And then?
You got undressed.
Do you sneak in girls' apartment to see them get undressed?
No, never before this.
Get undressed.
Why is he waving so slowly? Is that shot in slow motion?
I believe it is, yes. Not that slow, but probably 48 frames or something. And that's a little slower, too.
Why slow things?
It's a mood. You slow things down for a feeling, and those things are abstract reasons.
But it's not obviously a comic feeling you're after, is it? It's a dreamy feeling.
It's
or
more of a
mysterious?
dreamy feeling, and it could slide, you know, either way. The next things that follow say more and more what it is.
With his current movie, Blue Velvet, Lynch takes us into the strange, subconscious world of his other films. Its cast includes bad guy Dennis Hopper and the exotic Isabella Rossellini, and its nightmarish vision is likely to disturb as many people as it fascinates.
And David Lynch joins me now from Montreal. David, what is this movie about?
This movie, I say, is about the mysteries of darkness and love.
That's sort of hard to do, isn't it? I actually found the movie very disturbing.
It's a disturbing thing because it's a trip beneath a beautiful surface, but to a fairly uneasy interior of a small town.
Why did you want to do that? Why tell that story? Why is that so important to you?
A lot of my life has been discovering this strange sickness, and it's got a fascination to me. And I love the idea of going into something and discovering a world and being able to watch it and experience it.
What do you mean by this strange sickness?
Well, there are things going on that are hidden, that we don't know about, but somehow we are drawn to at least wanting to see it, wanting to watch it maybe from a distance. And this film allows a person to become a voyeur and to see this and have an experience of a world that was hidden.
Do you think that's the purpose of films, or of some films, to really disturb and upset and horrify people?
Well, no.
Do you think you're a genius or a really sick person?
Well, Valerie, I don't know.
Hello, baby.
Shut up! It's Daddy, you shithead. Where's my bourbon?
Dorothy's apartment is one of those hellish places which abound in David Lynch's films. A places where all moral or social inhibitions seem to be suspended, where everything is possible. The lowest masochistic sex, obscenities, the deepest level of our desires that we are not even ready to admit to ourselves, we are confronted with them in such places. From what perspective should we observe this scene? Imagine the scene as that of a small child hidden in a closet or behind a door,
Mommy.
witnessing the parental intercourse. He doesn't yet know what sexuality is, how we do it. All he knows is what he hears, this strange, deep breathing sound, and then he tries to imagine what goes on. At the very beginning of Blue Velvet, we see Jeffrey's father having a heart attack, falling down. We have the eclipse of the normal paternal authority.
Hey, Nat. Oh, Mommy. Mommy. Mommy.
Mommy loves you.
Baby wants to fuck.
It is as if Jeffrey fantasizes this wild parental couple of Dorothy and Frank as kind of a phantasmatic supplement to the lack of the real paternal authority.
Get ready to fuck! You fuckers, fucker! You fucker! Don't you fucking look at me!
Frank not only obviously acts, but even overacts. It is as if he's ridiculously excessive, gesticulating, shouting, and so on, are here to cover up something. The point is, of course, the elementary one, to convince the invisible observer that father is potent, to cover up father's impotence. So the second way to read the scene would have been as a spectacle, a ridiculously violent spectacle set up by the father to convince the son of his power, of his overpotency. The third way would have been to focus on Dorothy herself. Many feminists, of course, emphasized the brutality against women in this scene, the abuse, how the Dorothy character is abused. There is obviously this dimension in it. But I think one should risk a more shocking and obverse interpretation. The enigma of feminine subjectivity in David Lynch's films, it's a gap between cause and effect. You do something to a woman, but you never know what the reaction will be.
Jeffrey, don't. Please.
My relationship towards tulips is inherently Lynchian. I think they are disgusting. Just imagine, aren't these some kind of, how do you call it, vagina dentata, dental vagina threatening to swallow you? I think that flowers are something inherently disgusting. I mean, are people aware what a horrible thing these flowers are? I mean, basically it's an open invitation to all the insects and bees come and screw me, you know? I mean, I think that flowers should be forbidden to children. What if the central, as it were, problem of this entire scene is Dorothy's passivity?
Don't you fucking look at me!
So what if what Frank is doing is a kind of a desperate, ridiculous, but nonetheless effective attempt of trying to help Dorothy, to awaken her out of her lethargy, to bring her into life?
Our next movie is a French-language film named Blue, starring Juliette Binoche, a fine actress who you may remember from Damage or The Unbearable Lightness of Being. Here she plays the young widow of a famous classical music composer, a man whose work we are led to suspect she may partially have composed herself. After he and their daughter die in a car wreck, Binoche tries to shut out music from her life. After the first shock of the death wears off, she turns almost in a trance to the man who had worked with both her and her husband over the years. Maybe she wants to see if she can still feel anything. Then she takes an apartment in Paris and tries to lose herself in the city, but he finds her.
Je vous ai vu. Peut-être cela me suffira pour un petit moment.
And then she finds someone too, the other woman her husband was in love with. She didn't know about this mistress.
I'll find you. Oui. Oui, il n'était pas au courant, je m'en suis rendu compte. Je m'en suis rendu compte après l'accident.
He started his monologue during you close his buttons, you know? Yeah. This is good. And afterwards he said...
Gówno mnie obchodzi społeczeństwo. Że społeczeństwo to jest w wypadku polskim 40 milionów pojedynczych ludzi. I że tak naprawdę co mnie obchodzi to pojedynczy człowiek. I jak każdy pesymista muszę się rozpaczliwie rozglądać za jakimś światełkiem w tunelu. Za jakąś nadzieją, za jakąś możliwością. Nie chcę już więcej miłości, przyjaźni, wspomnień, rzeczy, własności. To wszystko jest pułapka. Ja myślę, że to tak jest, że jeżeli mówimy o wolności z osobistego punktu widzenia, z perspektywy jednej kobiety, jednego losu, to tak jest, że wszystko, co się wiąże i z uczuciami, i z przedmiotami, i z naszym zaangażowaniem się w cokolwiek, jest pułapką, ponieważ to wszystko zmusza nas w jakimś stopniu do rezygnacji z wolności. Miłość także zmusza.
Pendant le... Est-ce que vous étiez consciente? J'ai la pénible tâche. Vous savez.
Anna.
Oui, votre fille aussi.
You can organize, people do it, your life in mourning the lost object. Julie, in Blue, discovers that her husband wasn't what she thought he was. That he was cheating her, that he had a mistress who is pregnant. This is the most terrifying loss, where all the coordinates of your reality disintegrate. Problem is how to reconstitute yourself. In a wonderful short scene, the heroine of Blue, after returning home, finds there on the floor a group of newly born mice crawling around their mother. This scene terrifies her. She is too excessively exposed to life in its brutal meaninglessness. What she is able to do at the end is to acquire a proper distance towards reality. This is what happens in the famous circular shot where we pass from Julie's face while she is making love This magical suspension of temporal and spatial limitations, this free floating in a fantasy space, far from distancing us from reality, enables us to approach reality. She is putting together the coordinates which enable her to experience her reality as meaningful again. As if the lesson is not only for men but also for women that you can sustain sexual intercourse, sexual relationship only through the support of fantasy. The problem, of course, is this fantasy reconstituted? Is this the ultimate horizon of our experience? The function of music here is precisely that of a fetish, of some fascinating presence whose function it is to conceal the abyss of anxiety. Music is here what, according to Marx's religion, is a kind of opium for the people. Opium which should, as it were, put us asleep, put us into a kind of a false beatitude which allows us to avoid the abyss of unbearable anxiety. We see Julie crying, but through a glass. This glass stands for, I think, fantasy reconstituted. These are, I'm tempted to say, the tears of happiness. I can mourn now because it no longer immediately affects me. Blue proposes this mystical communion, reconstituted fantasy as sustaining our relation to the world, but the price we pay is that some radically authentic moment of accepting the anxiety at the very foundation of human condition is lost there. I think Kafka was right when he said that for a modern, secular, non-religious man, bureaucracy, state bureaucracy, is the only remaining contact with the dimension of the divine. It is in this scene from Brazil that we see the intimate link between bureaucracy and enjoyment. What the impenetrable omnipotence of bureaucracy harbors is divine enjoyment.
Toughest terrorist, the rest is victim. Mr. Warren. Yes. Mr. Warren. No. Is this fact? Definitely no. My name's Larry, Mr. Warren. Sam Larry.
The intense rush of bureaucratic engagement serves nothing. It is the performance of its very purposelessness that generates an intense enjoyment ready to reproduce itself forever.
Expecting big things to accomplish the finance of progress see those. Between you and me, Lowry, this department, tell records to get stuff, is about to be upgraded, and here we are. Your very own number on your very own door. And behind that door, your very own office. Congratulations, DZ-015. Welcome to the team. Yes. No. Cancel that. Send 2 copies to finance.
This program to bring you news of a terrorist bombing at the Blue Lagoon Flyer.
I know it's going to sound incredible, but I've been dreaming about you. No, not like that. I mean, I love you. I mean, in my dreams, I love you. And, I mean, extraordinary, isn't it? Anyway, you don't believe me, do you? You probably think I'm bonkers, right? Mad, raving.
No, I think you're very attractive.
What?
Yeah, sit back. Let me have a look at you. Oh, yeah. Good looking, sexy. Just my type.
I don't believe you.
Why not?
Well, I just don't deserve such terrific luck.
Damn right.
To return from cinema to so-called real life, the ultimate lesson of psychoanalysis is that exactly the same goes for our real life experience. That emotions as such are deceiving. There are no specifically fake emotions because, as Freud puts it literally, the only emotion which doesn't deceive is anxiety. All other emotions are a fake. So, of course, the problem here is, are we able to encounter in cinema the emotion of anxiety, or is cinema as such a fake?